Hello, my name is Junhui. I'm in Period 3 CS50 AP course. First of all, begin with my code header. It basically tells you my information, my name, the date, and the period, and the project name. The processor directive is there because it exists in the code because it gives you the further command lines and the basic commands you get. So for example, stdint.h provides the typedef command line. And here the typedef, this command line is used to provide a new type to store a byte of data. And over here, the int main exists because it basically runs the entire code. And this argc, argv is there to count the things that like after space when you type them, like point, slash, blah, blah, blah. And if you look over here, there are these variables. This is image number and image name. And image number is basically just 0, is utilized later. And all these variables are in the front, in the most of the variables, actually all the variables exist in the very beginning because the variables should be the first one to get defined. And image name is 8. Like there's 8 in it because actually there's only 7 characters in this percent thing in 0.3d.jpg, but in C you're supposed to +1, that's why it's 8. And block size, since the JPEG file block size is 512, the variable exists, and the byte storage block size is there because to show that to storage the buffer, basically the storage the buffer, saying that there is 512 byte size. And the file is basically the file opener in null. It basically resets any values, any variables in the file output. And if arc not equals to 2, and this code exists because it's just there to tell the reader that if there is more than two argc in this, which means that, for example, the correct format should be recover card raw. But if that's not the case, it just basically tells the reader you have done something wrong, and then it returns the file cannot. This returns this error message and says return 1. And string image file equals arc1 basically means that it stores what you typed over here into the image file, the string image file. In this case, it will be card raw. That's basically exists. It is basically defined in the beginning to use in the later coding. In this rest of the code, rest of the program, and this input is opened in the read mode. It basically what it does is that it reads the image file into the input. It basically copies it to the input. And if input equals null, it basically means if it gives you the error message that exists, is to show that if the file is not open and there's error, and it basically telling that you should fix it, and saying that, and just returns 1. And the while, this is to show that basically, the storage over here, since it's 512, is counted as 1. So basically that 1 is to show that this is copying from the input to the storage, to basically the buffer, is showing that the 512 should be equal in the input, and the store size, the size should be 2. And it's basically just copying the input into the storage, just by basically what it does in the while. And as long as it's true, this continues on. And it checks over here. It checks if it's the new file, if it's a new JPEG file, by using 3 digits. It's important because in some JPEG files, some images actually don't start in the new file, some just adds on. So it's utilized as to differentiate them. And in the sprintf, this command line exists to give the image name, basically the unique image name to each JPG file. And over here exists in the code is to show, basically opens the output file and basically opens and provides to each JPEG files a unique name. And fwrite and blah 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 storage when output, what it basically does is that from the storage of that a size of 512, which is counted as 1, is actually just copied into output, so for us to see in the pictures like this. And over here, image num equals image num plus 1. What it basically does is that while this one loop goes on, it means the one JPEG file has formed, which means the new unique number is required. So this is what it serves. This is why is it there. The else statement is, like I said, like I explained before, and this is a code that kind of differentiates between whether or not you should create a new file or just add on. And since this is the while format, is the case where you have to open a new file, create a new file. In this case, is that you just add on stuff, and this basic code is there, and just add on the make image. If this does not exist, this image like this will not be possible. It won't show up. Since all files has to be closed eventually. This is the closing file for input, closing for the output, and return 0 when it completely ends. Thank you for watching.